set aside for a public hearing regarding fiscal year 2018 program consolidated annual performance and evaluation report, aka the CAPER. Ms. Molinaro.
Good morning. As you're aware, Cumberland County receives annual community development block grant and home investment partnership grants from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Under the grant reporting requirements, the county is required to prepare the consolidated annual performance and evaluation report, affectionately known as the CAPER. And this CAPER is a report on the use of those dollars through December 31st. In 2018, the county received $1,187,618 of CDG and $519,088 in home. And with those dollars, over 32,000 people benefited from rental assistance, public services, or other public facilities funded by the CDG and home programs. Examples of this are the operation of Safe Harbor, ADA and other recreation improvements throughout the county, the cyberspace operation, and several other programs and activities. Over 1,400 homeless individuals were assisted at shelters or via rental assistance. 2 properties were rehabilitated for resale to first-time homebuyers, one in Shippensburg and one in Cumberland. 10 homeowners were assisted with rehabilitation. This involves rehab to the home that addresses code improvements, so electricals, other systems, upgrades. 2,600 code inspections were conducted in 3 municipalities in the county. 1 Street View grant was issued, and 4 economic development funds were issued for the purpose of creating 9 full-time equivalent jobs. A maximum of 15% of the allocation may be spent on public service activities. In 2018, 9.17% was expended, and a maximum of 20% may be spent on planning and admin activities. In 2018, that percentage was 17.8%. The CAPER has been on display for public comment for a period of 30 days. And to date, we've received no comments. So at this time, we'd be happy to answer any questions or accept any comments from the board or from the public.
Okay, does the board have any questions or comments?
I don't know whether it's in order at this point in time, but we're going to be losing Katie, as I understand, here in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, tremendous loss to our county. And, you know, as you did with this report today and done throughout the years, much professionalism. We're really going to miss you and appreciate everything you've done to help us move forward in the area of new housing affordability for many of our residents and many other programs that are underway at the Housing and Redevelopment Authority. So I understand you have a new opportunity, and we certainly wish you well, but you're going to be sorely missed.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Staff have any questions or comments? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Anything additional, Kate?
No.
Okay, hearing none, public hearing is closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the March 20th, 2019 Cumberland County Commissioners Workshop meeting. Please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I call the meeting to order at 9:05, and at this time open up for public comments. Okay, hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 3 and call on Kate once again for any further discussion related to the public hearing.
I have no further comment. I would just ask that the commissioners adopt the CAPER and approve its submission if they're meeting on Monday.
Thank you, Kate. Next, we'll move on to agenda item 4, and I'll turn the floor over to Flo to discuss contracts and grants.
Thank you, Sandy. Agenda items 4, Roman numeral 1, A through F are existing contracts, contract extensions, or addenda with no additional cost or increase to the county. They include the following departments: Aging and Community Services Agreement and a grant, Fairmont Nursing Rehabilitation Center Agreement, the Coroner's Office Agreement, Liquid Fuels and Finance Agreement, Prison Operations Agreement, and the Public Safety E-Grant. Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments concerning any of the above? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 4, Roman numeral 2, which consists of new contracts, vendors, services, grants, and contracts with increases and decreases to the county. And we'll begin by calling on Holly Sherman to discuss the agreement for CNRC. Holly?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is the renewal for the property and liability insurance as well as the cyber liability insurance at Cumberland. We worked this most recently in 2017 when we started the renewal process. The Hanover Insurance Group, recognizing that the market for insurance carriers in the nursing home is declining, they gave us a favorable renewal with a slight increase on the property and liability side of 4.8%. And then Beasley for the cyber liability is actually a decrease of 38.87%. And this would be effective April 1st, 2019 through April 1st, 2020.
Any questions for Holly? Hearing none, thank you, Holly. We'll move on. Next, I'll call on Jamie Reaver to discuss the children and youth agreement.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is an agreement with Winding Creek Counseling Services. This is specific to one child that is in our custody. We were court ordered by the judge to maintain her counseling services after she was placed into a foster home. So we need to set up a contract to do that. It's $150 per hour session, and she has 1 or 2 sessions per week, depending on the need.
Any questions for Jamie? Hearing none, thank you, Jamie. Next, I'll move on to Eric Reinovich to discuss the forensic lab grant. Eric?
Good morning, Commissioners. The grant before you is a all Cumberland Forensic Science Improvement Grant administered by PCCD for $71,864. It's a no-match grant and it provides an equipment grant to provide us to buy new field works for the laboratory.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you. Next, we'll move to Michelle Seibert, who's here to discuss the Victim Services Motion Grant. Michelle?
This is our Victim of Crime Act. This is a 15-month extension of the current VOCA grant we currently have. It funds pretty much all of our advocates, prior to my position, our admin staff, office supplies, program supplies.
Any questions for Michelle? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on. Next, Mark Adams will discuss the ESRI agreement. Mark?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is the ESRI maintenance annual renewal contract for maintenance on the ESRI application that GIS uses to produce maps for multiple different departments, including GIS, planning, assessment, public safety, and vector control. It's a little bit cheaper than last year just because we pulled out some licenses from the public safety current CAD situation.
Any questions?
It's a 1-year contract.
It's just annual maintenance, correct?
Thank you.
Hearing none, we'll move on. Holly will discuss the 2 agreements for HR.
The first agreement is a no cost agreement with Bloomsburg University for a period of 5 years. This is for us to allow interns from Bloomsburg University. It's to outline each party's responsibilities if we are to have an intern from Bloomsburg University. The second is from Concentra Medical Center. This is an annual renewal from, they used to be U.S. HealthWorks and they were purchased by Concentra last year. And this is just a renewal, flat rates on the lines of service, or each service that they provide to us. We did increase the amount of the overall contract based on utilization in the prior years.
Any questions for Holly? Hearing none, we'll move on. Sue Carwell is joining us via teleconferencing to discuss the NHIDD agreement. Sue?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. The contract that we have is for Merle Crawford, who is one of our occupational therapists. We're doing a contract amendment for an increase of $5,445 because she has picked up additional children to serve. And these costs will be covered by state dollars.
Any questions, Sue? Hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Sue.
Yes.
The next item is the Planning Department Land Partnership Agreement for Hamden Township and Creekview Park South Playground Rehabilitation. I'll be discussing this for Stephanie, because she could not attend today. This was a grant that you this is just a finalization of a grant that you approved back in September 2018. The grant amount is $25,000 for the township to renovate Creekview Park South Playground. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on. Next, Rebecca Finke will discuss the Vivitrol program for the prison. Rebecca?
Morning. This is the grant that was also presented to the prison board on Monday. 2-year grant that PCCD is administering for the Department of Corrections. It's approximately $250,000 a year to cover our contract with RAISE, Positive Recovery Solutions, and the costs that Crime Care will now incur to purchase injections for persons. Since April of 2017, we have served 158 persons with Vivitrol injections, and we anticipate doing at least that each over the next 2 years.
Rebecca, how many injections do applicants normally receive? 1, 2? Is there a
At
minimum?
the jail, they normally receive at least 1 if they're in general population. They receive anywhere from 2 to 6 during their time in work release. In the program, it varies. We have 1 individual on his 17th injection. The people who tend to stick with the program and stay with their recovery specialists average 8 injections.
What was the total number and since when? Total number?
158 persons we have, well, we've screened over 184, but 158 have actually been given injections. Sometimes they decline and sometimes their blood work is not good enough to participate.
Of course, these dollars would go a lot further if it wasn't for the fact that the maker of this drug is charging how much an injection?
$1,119. That's with a 21% discount.
I mean, we could.
Previously, we got the injections given at the jail, the first injection for free. They're no longer going to do that.
First one's always free, too.
Any other questions?
No, the only comment I would make on it, I mean, considering the fact that, essentially, Big Pharma has been, partly responsible for the opioid epidemic that we have, I find it kind of ironic that the drug industry is making money off of trying to treat those who are addicted, so.
300,000 of the 500,000 goes to the payment for the injection. And I'm sorry, but I had to request action on this because it's due tomorrow.
Okay.
Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the filing of the grant request in the amount of $499,992.
Is there a second? Any further questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on. Claudia Garner is joining us via video teleconferencing to discuss the FEMA grant. Claudia?
Good morning, everybody. Public Safety is requesting your approval to apply for the state fiscal year 1920 Hazardous Material Response Fund, known as the HMRF non-matching grant, with a performance period of July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2020. The purpose of this grant is to enhance the ongoing efforts to maintain and develop hazardous material safety program, including emergency planning and training, response capabilities, and exercises to measure those capabilities. The amount of the grant to be awarded under this program is dependent upon the availability of the funds for each fiscal year and the number of counties who submit applications. The grant awards are determined using a multi-factor formula utilizing information submitted on our hazard assessment, which is part of this grant application process. In years past, you've had to approve the assessment separately from the grant application. Now it's all combined. Assuming your approval, once the county receives notice of our award amount, the next step would be to submit a project budget and narrative, which explains all of our planned expenditures. and it will be included as an attachment with the final agreement that you will get and need to do an approval at the next workshop after that. Any questions?
Hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Claudia.
Thanks, have a good day.
Bye-bye. Next, John Bittner will discuss the MOU with PA Cleanways and Keep PA Beautiful. John?
Good morning, everybody. In 2018, we had a habitat reduction as part of our mosquito grant, and also known as the tire grant. So we have another one in our budget for 2019 mosquito grant, and this is the memorandum of understanding with PA Cleanways, and we'll be working with them. And in this MOU, our liability limit is $1,000, and that is reimbursed in the grant.
Mosquito grant is tire.
Yes, because that's mosquito hat.
It's a new line in government euphemisms. Yes.
I'm just presenting you.
I understand.
Are we going to do another video?
You want a video?
Are we going to do another video?
Yeah, watch it. Have to see some
Fight
video.
the bike.
Throw some tires on the
great.
truck.
I think we got
Tractor tires.
I'm at the Mid-Atlantic
It was so
Mosquito.
good, we can use the last year's again.
No, we're gonna do it. The one I suggested to Vince me. Yes, I like that.
While you're here on another matter, I understand that the quarantine area for spotted lanternfly has moved into Dauphin County.
Yes.
Have you received any notice, or are we, next? This is the question.
I've received no official notice, but we probably are next. Yes.
Keep in mind, Jim, they had to cross the Harrisburg.
Well, there's a lot of trucks that go across the bridge.
And I did receive, strangely enough, because that's in the news, I guess, I received a couple calls about the Gypsy Moth program, of which we shouldn't have any Gypsy Moth for next year either. But I do have a meeting to go to in June, where of course does continue having their annual meetings.
Yeah, well, anyway, this bug could reap all kinds of economic damage.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Especially those in the fruit industry.
Very good. If you're a wine connoisseur, to be well.
Yeah, I just think it's something that, we ought to start to think about how to, bring this, make our public more aware of it and what to do. Maybe we could do something on our website about that. What to look out for, how to.
Well, we do have a, Penn State Ag does have it on the website, and about every 2 weeks we update it on my webpage. I haven't been sending it over to the main webpage, but I can. And then as part 2 of the mosquito grant, to get on another subject, is there is some money in the mosquito grant for, we will be doing some tick surveillance, collecting adult and nymph ticks and sending them to the lab. And it's just a pilot program to see, what the distribution of the ticks are that would have Lyme disease.
So are we expecting, because of the weather, are we expecting more ticks?
Not necessarily.
No.
And there are a lot of them in the small rodent populations. I know that people know that they're on deer a lot and they get moved around by deer, but actually they really propagate on small rodents. And this Sunday is the open house up at our building, sponsored by Penn State Ag Extension. So if anybody wants to come up, all of our building is having an open house, and everybody's participating. The public can come and actually participate and learn about the different offices that we have up there.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us about that.
You bet.
Any additional questions for John? Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you guys. See you.
Next, we'll move on to agenda item 5, and on Beth will discuss the bid results for 11.
Good morning. We received 2 bids, one from Election IQ for $38,391 and one from Dogwood Engineers for $39,840.
You have a recommendation then?
Yes, I would prefer Election IQ because they've worked with other counties doing the same thing that are in agreements with the Department of Justice.
And were they the lowest bid?
Yes.
Moving on to agenda item 6, I'll call on Solicitor Benjamin to discuss the Gettysburg and Northern Railroad issue. Keith?
Morning, Commissioners. As you're aware, we received a complaint that was filed by Dickinson Township in the PUC. And it involves the condition of roadway crossings of the Gettysburg Railroad. As far as I can tell right now, based on my conversation with the Dickinson Township manager, as well as Kirk Stoner, we really have nothing in this. I'm not quite sure why we've been named, but 2 days ago, we received another complaint from Lower Allen Township. They filed a complaint in front of the PUC involving Norfolk Southern at a location, I believe, deals with another road crossing about the condition being maintained by Norfolk Southern. We're named as a party. Again, I don't know why that is, but I expect to find out fairly soon. As far as I know, in that situation, we again have nothing in it. I don't know if the PUC is naming us as a party automatically because we are the county in which the complaint arises. My only guess is it would need to have something to do with the condition of a crossing over a county bridge, and that has not been the case. So I need to find that out.
Any questions for Keith? Thank you, Keith. Agenda item 7, I'll call on Holly once again to discuss the 457B plan. Holly?
Last time. At the March 13th retirement board meeting, it was discussed and recommended from the retirement board to the Board of Commissioners to transition all of the 457B assets that are in the current valid and nationwide accounts to the ICMA RC plan once that is established all at one time.
Any questions for Holly? Thank you, Holly. Next, we'll move on to the Commissioners' liaison reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Luca.
Okay, start off with the Western Cumberland Council of Government. First report that our new state senator out in that area, Judy Ward, and Representative Barb Klein will be joining forces to provide better constituent services to the residents of Western Cumberland County. They're going to have people available at the Newville Borough office the first Tuesday of each month from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Kirk Stoner announced that FEMA will be releasing new flood insurance rate maps and associated studies in late April. In Dickinson Township, the Board of Supervisors completed a zoning and saldo update. Mount Holly, the borough worked with Petro to improve the signage and improve the truck traffic problem within the borough. And May 4th, Mount Holly Springs will be having a cleanup day. Newburgh Borough recently appointed a tax collector, and they are continuing to work in updating their zoning ordinance. And Newville Borough, they are again hosting and having the Fountain Festival, which is usually in June. Penn Township, they're considering the purchase of a 4-acre lot near the current fish hatchery in hopes of developing the Fisherman's Park. And new business, there was a resident from North Newton Township did not attend the meeting but expressed her concern via letter against the proposed mini casino in Shippensburg Township. It was also noted Lower Franklin Township is planning to update its comprehensive plan with the assistance of our county planning department. I also attended the recent local emergency planning committee meeting. It was very, very well attended. Just some things here to report. We have had 5 hazmat incidents since the last meeting. Biggest one was an oil spill on 81 Carlisle. Regarding tier 2 reports, 102 were received, 74 were processed. Ware County is having the Sarah Summit April the 16th. Bob Schuyler reported that energy transfer communication pieces are going out to residents if they haven't already near the pipeline in Cumberland County. The 2019 Sarah Summit, which is already in planning process, will be held at Messiah College, and that will be October 10th this year. And last on my reports here is the library meeting is also this week. Bear with me here. Okay, March 10th, the library system successfully implemented Canopy software with a quiet launch. As you know, I think there's even an article in the paper today that this software will enable folks to see more movies and more things on social media. The 4 library system headquarters and 1 library director learn more about new services through Baker and Taylor, including a pop-up library, which is a small network device that creates instant access to a digital collection anywhere. That's pretty cool news. The county library system received an email concerning the 2020 proposed White House budget cuts, which will cut all federal funding for libraries. And folks are asking for people to write to Scott Perry and Congressman Joyce and ask them to sign the letter to restore this funding. Ben Creek property, everything remains on schedule. Expected completion date remains May 15th. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hertzler.
Okay, thanks, Sandy. The statewide 911 advisory board met at PEMA headquarters for its quarterly meeting on March 7th. I've been reappointed to a third and final term to represent third and fourth class counties on the statewide advisory panel. The task ahead this year is the urgent need to convince the General Assembly to reenact Act 12 of 2015, more specifically reauthorization of the $1.65 per communications device 911 fee that has been helping tremendously in defraying the property taxpayer costs for the operations of our 911 emergency dispatch centers throughout the Commonwealth. Nobody that I'm aware of is asking for an increase in the fee, but without timely action by our state General Assembly on reauthorization, the $1.65 fee, which was adjusted for the first time in 25 years, 4 years ago, will go away. And I'm pleased to report that our state Senator Mike Regan is leading the charge on this effort in his new role as the chairman of the Senate Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee. He's introduced a bill, Senate Bill 127, that would reauthorize the $1.65 per communications device fee for an additional 2 years, while also providing for a study by the Legislative Budget and Finance Committee during the extension period. The House is moving forward with consideration of a bill that would reauthorize the fee for a 4-year period. Not sure which version will win out in the end, but pleased the legislation is, at least at this point, on the table for consideration. My hope, and I believe the hope of others throughout the state and at the County Commissioners Association, is that this legislation would cross the finish line separate and apart from this year's budget, so it doesn't get tangled up in the annual budget debate. But we'll see. Hopefully, we can move in the near future. In the meantime, I think it's important just to mention for our citizens to understand what this $1.65 per communication device fee has meant, again, adjusted for the first time for inflation in 25 years, just 4 years ago. Since its implementation, the cost to our county property taxpayers for the operation of our 911 Public Safety Dispatch Center have been reduced by nearly $2 million annually. In other words, that's the approximate increase in funding our county is receiving from the 911 communications device surcharge. Statewide, about $120 million more annually for our public safety dispatch systems. And so hopefully this legislation will move forward without too much delay. On Friday, March 8th, as the liaison to our county's housing and redevelopment authorities, I was asked and pleased to give some opening welcoming remarks to the housing summit that was held at Dickinson College. I was pleased to be joined by Commissioner College, Commissioner DiFilippo. Various experts and panelists were on hand to discuss the need for further action in our county to address what I would describe as a housing shortage. And a housing shortage, especially in the area of affordable housing. Cumberland County is not unique in facing this challenge, but as our population continues to grow and in fact remain the fastest growing county in the state of Pennsylvania, it's going to be a challenge that will need to be addressed head on. I would like to believe that the March 8 summit in Carlisle was only the starting point, and while required by the federal government's Department of Housing and Urban Development for the formation of a new 5-year consolidated housing plan for our county, that the summit was more than just dotting of the I's and crossing of the T's to meet some regulatory requirement. There's no question that the need for affordable housing was identified in our county's comprehensive plan that was updated just a couple of years ago. It was entitled Conserve, Grow, and Connect, and on this issue, it's all about connect. Connecting with all stakeholders, public and private, to address the challenge. Home builders, realtors, our banking community, our nonprofits, our county's housing and redevelopment authorities, CADIC, and last but not least, our municipalities. In any event, there were a number of presentations at the Housing Summit and some interesting information and data that was shared, and I've sent that to both of my colleagues for their consideration and review as well. The Aging Advisory Board met last Friday. There's one vacancy on the 15-member panel, and the board is looking for a volunteer. I believe from a geographical balance point of view, they're looking for someone from the Carlisle area this time around. So if my colleagues or anybody else has any ideas, please let me know. We might be able to get somebody appointed to fill that vacancy. We continue to see an increase in reports surrounding the need for protective services for our elderly citizens, mostly in the area of self-neglect. The governor's budget does include an additional $2.8 million in the upcoming fiscal year for protective services for seniors. This is on top of the added $2 million that was approved in the current budget. And these are dollars that are coming out of the lottery fund, which remains the only lottery in the nation to serve exclusively the needs of our senior citizens. It does appear the discussion revolving around the fact that the government did not advocate in his most recent budget a consolidation of departments and or the elimination of the Department of Aging. But it does appear that in many respects the state might be moving toward functional consolidation. At the end of the day, I think what is of particular importance to our seniors is that they continue to have a strong voice and a seat at the table when it comes to deciding what's best for them. And that's all I have. I have a Housing Redevelopment Authority meeting at noon, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Bernstein. Commissioner Eichelberger.
If the pounding resumes, I'll take it as a hint to wrap it up. Okay, just a handful of items. I was at the Planning Commission's meeting just prior to this meeting, and Kirk distributed the 2018 annual report for the Planning Commission, which is on the website. It's, as he pointed out, it's a thin document now, very much in keeping with the comp plan and trying to just stay focused on significant issues. And so that's available. Did we receive hard copies of that? Did we do that? I don't remember seeing.
Yes, we did.
We did receive hard copies?
I think so.
Okay. It is online. We'll make sure everybody has a version of it one way or another. So, also the dashboard here that Kirk prepares for us. I'll forward this on rather than make photocopies. I've provided the color that Barbara Sudano provides as part of the attachment. Just in summary, a handful of items on what they've been doing, most of which you're aware of. The planning review summaries. The summary planning reviews continues to increase, showing a reflection of the growth that we're all very aware of here. There's a listing of the technical assistance projects at the municipal level and a number of special projects listed, including the PA 944 safety study. They've participated in a number of public meetings through March, and there'll be more in April to discuss the potential improvements on 944. There was, they met with PennDOT officials also to discuss the I-81 issue that's near and dear to our hearts. Also worked with the Conservation District this past month to provide a stormwater mitigation workshop for municipalities that was held on March 14th. The annual report I mentioned, also met recently with DEP to discuss renewal of the Act 167 countywide stormwater plan. Obviously, lots going on with that as well. So I'll see you get that. There was some discussion regarding the Moy project with the real estate collaborative. I provided them an update on that. There was a lot of interest in that. There was a great deal of discussion on the housing summit that Commissioner Herzog referenced earlier, and Kirk provided, we had a number of folks who were in attendance there from the Planning Commission, and they were effusive in their praise of the information and the format. And Kirk provided us a summary of some of the next steps that they're going to be assembling a work team to address the affordability issue. And also, of course, the next step is working with Shippensburg on the study that they're working on in regards to that issue. We were all in attendance at the Economic Development Corporation meeting, so there were a number of issues presented there. Just as an update, following that meeting, we held a second interview with one of the CEO candidates, and the board is prepared to move forward with a sort of, I don't want to say final presentation, but it's probably one of the last steps, presentation by two candidates that'll take place before the entire board of directors. Remains to be seen if that's going to be a special meeting or a next month's meeting. That's because of the time involved. We prefer to try to schedule a special meeting so that it's not hanging out there for another month since we just had this meeting, had our monthly meeting. I'll let you know how that's proceeding.
So it may not be tagged on to the regular cadence.
It is right now.
Right, yeah, right now, it's planned to be, but since that's a month away, we're having a discussion about whether we could do a special meeting earlier, and therefore be more prepared perhaps to take a final vote at that meeting. Otherwise, it has to push, the final approval has to push to May. And we would like to expedite if possible, but again, it's going to depend on people's ability to participate in a special meeting, and we don't know how difficult that is to get those schedules. So we're continuing on with that. process, and it's obviously been quite a process. I did attend the Capital Region Council of Governments meeting.
Thank you, Gary.
On Monday. You're very welcome. They had a lot of presentations, including several by some telecommunications firms that are offering new packages and such, and there are some special packages available for first responders as well, so they were making sure that the municipalities knew about that. The major action that took place was that the SAFER grant that Commissioner Hirschler has previously referenced under discussion there for recruitment retention. They voted unanimously to pursue to formally approve the application toward that grant. So that was completed. That was a major issue there that evening, by the way. So MHIED board meeting is later today. I am planning to be in attendance there. Sunday is the first day of the CCAP conference, and that's the day we have our committee meetings. I am planning to be a county governance committee, and because of the wide range of issues that committee covers, I'm going to circulate the agenda, which was released yesterday or the day before. I'll circulate it to you guys, and you can take a look, see if there's any input you want to provide me for my participation in the discussion on those issues. I am planning to be there at least for that committee, and that's everything I have.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I just got one quick question. Gary, did they, when they discussed the SAFER grant, I picked up on the fact that there was some question as to whether the COG could be the applicant. Did that come up at all?
If it came up, I didn't hear it. I mean, I was looking at my notes since I was also providing a summary of some of the county reports that you provided that day. So I did not hear that.
Okay, I'll follow up with Gary. Thanks.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 10, or 9, I'm sorry. I would like to report that executive sessions were held on the following dates: March 13th at 3 p.m., March 14th at 9 a.m., March 19th at noon, March 20th at 3 p.m., all regarding personnel issues. I would like to request an executive session to be held directly after this meeting regarding real estate transactions and personnel issues. Under other business, Commissioners, you should have a resolution in your packet, 2019-10. And this is an updated resolution to include Flo's name as an authorized individual to execute title or titles for the purpose of acquisition, sale, or transfer in the name of Cumberland County, and that are first authorized by the Board of Commissioners for such acquisition and disposition. So we are asking to request today so that we have someone in the office at all times in an effort to keep the process moving, so that if a vehicle needs to be delivered, there is someone there to sign the paperwork.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2019-10?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
This means that Flo gets on a
Humans and our phone, cars. I think I have about 60
I think I got your beat, Vince, but that's okay.
Probably. So if we see Mini Cooper out there next week, we'll know
Yeah.
how that happened.
Hey, by the way, I'm taking them all with me. I'm taking them all with me when I leave.
I want your insurance bill.
All right, you're right. That's an impediment.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners, for that action. Is there any other business that needs to be come before the Board of Commissioners today? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you, Commissioners.